Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hattie tells Leo in her room at the Salem Inn how much she enjoyed Drag Race. It amazes her that she has never seen it. Leo replies, they've seen it together before, seeming perplexed. Hattie is worried that she will be too bloated from the pork rinds for her body and soul fitting tomorrow, but she can't recall. She bids Lenny farewell and thanks him for the invitation. Lenny, Leo asks, perplexed. Junk food, ostentatious attire, and employment at a soap opera. What the devil is wrong with you, Dr. Evans? Marlene informs John that he has been given the all-clear to leave the hospital. She adds that Jack and Chad discovered the lady in Poplar Bluff and are going to determine whether or not she is Abigail. John is curious as to whether she is aware of how they ended up sharing a room in Missouri. The important thing is to bring him home so Marlena can spoil him so he may ask her afterwards. They cry because they miss each other so much. Chad receives the mystery woman's DNA test results at Kayla's office, and they show that she is a 50% genetic match. That implies, Kayla clarifies, that she is Jack's daughter. And also, you're Abigail. Chad says after giving Jack a tearful look, you are my spouse. Jack, overcome, gives her a hug. The lady tenses and begs him not to. They start calling her Abigail right away. She flinches and Jack retreats. Sarah sits on the pavement, unmoving, after the collision outside the square. Her hand and face are covered in bloody scratches. Fiona attempts to wake Brady up in the vehicle because she thinks she could strike someone. Running back, she discovers Sarah lying on her back. Leo leaves Gwen a contrite voicemail in the square. He says that one of the reasons he is seeing a therapist is to figure out why he was such a bad friend to her. He goes on to say that Dr. Evans was behaving strangely while he watched Drag Race. Even though he knows he won't hear from Gwen again, he still finds talking to her beneficial. Guinevere, you are loved. And I really, really miss you. Xander sends Sarah a few texts across the square informing her that they are going to miss the last boat to Smith Island. They may always leave tomorrow, however. All he wants to do is spend the night with her to let her know how much he values her. After approaching Xander, Leo finds out that he and Sarah are married. Leo misses her but is relieved that Gwen didn't ruin the wedding. Nothing ruined the wedding, Xander tells him, and nothing will ruin the honeymoon either if Sarah arrives on time. Leo continues chatting endlessly about Sarah until Xander grits his teeth and tells him to stop. Though anxious that Sarah won't arrive in time, Xander laments that she is an angel on earth and that he will never again take her for granted. Leo thinks that's lovely, but Xander knows where to find him if he becomes desperate. Xander phones Maggie to ask why Sarah is taking so long after Leo leaves. Maggie claims not to be present. Fiona is in a panic outside the square after running over her son's wife. Relieved that Sarah is still alive, she discovers her pulse. Fiona hears Xander yelling for Sarah as she worries about what she will say to the authorities. She flees. As the automobile pulls away, Xander rushes to Sarah's side. He makes an ambulance call. Over a beaten Sarah on the ground, Xander hovers with his phone pressed to his ear. Abigail tells Jack and Chad that she doesn't know them and doesn't feel like she belongs at Kayla's workplace. Kayla interrupts to inform Al that she is with her aunt and other family members. If Abigail gives it some time, Chad believes she will remember them. I'll take you home. He wants her to see their children at the Horton residence. She doesn't recognize the pictures of Thomas and Charlotte that he shows her. She also wants to save them any trauma. Where they go doesn't matter to Chad. Instead, he recommends the mansion since all he wants is to be with her. She concurs. Marlena and John stop at the pub before heading home. She asks him whether he's found closure and offers him the message he left at Katharina's grave. Although he's happy he was able to pay his respects, he was reminded that he had taken an innocent life by being at the cemetery. She reassures him that they will overcome it together. Leo comes in and notices that Marlena has changed. He also talks about how she smashed some pork rinds while watching their performance. Marlena displays her perplexity. At chuckling, Leo surmises that Marlena doesn't want John to know that she's mingling with a patient as John walks to the bar to place an order. Marlena is clueless about his topic of conversation. Leo moves to a different table, thinking, mistakenly, that she is only maintaining pretend. Marlena heads toward the door as John informs her that the kitchen is closed. As Leo looks over a menu, Marlena walks by his table. "It was good to see him," she adds. With a dramatic wink, he continues, "For the first time tonight." Text says, "Get the Days of Our Lives newsletter from Soaps. Receive daily summaries, exclusive interviews, spoilers, and breaking news alerts directly to your email." Hattie visits the pub later. Liv acknowledges her spouse and notices that she has changed once again. When she doesn't understand what he's saying, Leo glances around in disbelief. Hattie goes to her room above the pub by passing Lenny. Leo gives a gulp. Oh my God. Marlena Evans is a multifaceted individual. Brady's vehicle is parked in the townhouse garage beside Fiona. Fiona tells herself she has no option but to leave Sarah there while Brady is still unconscious. She is certain Xander will get the assistance she needs. Xander phones Fiona, who is still in the parked vehicle, nervously as Kayla checks on Sarah in a hospital room. "Mom, you are needed." As Xander ends his conversation with Maggie, Fiona rushes to the hospital. Xander gives his mom a hug and tells her everything about the hit and run. He gives a roar and threatens to rip them limb from limb when he discovers the driver. Brady's automobile is passed by John and Marlena in their parking garage. Marlena is shocked that he parked in her area. Brady is unconscious in the backseat as they go into the building. Jack contacts Jennifer at Kayla's office to inform her of Abigail's news. Chad leads Abigail into the main room of the mansion. He departs to instruct the workers to set up individual rooms for them. She glances about uneasily. Alone, she states bluntly, "I guess that's Abigail's house." According to teasers for Monday, August 5, episode of Days of Our Lives, Brady Black and Alex Kyriakis will cross paths and commiserate while attempting to rebuild their lives. At least Alex and Brady will be able to connect over all the suffering, even if Theresa Donovan messed everything apart. Fiona Cook will need to think quickly in the meantime. Although Fiona is a functional alcoholic, as fans of DOL are aware, she wants Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, to think she is fully dedicated to her recovery. But now that Xander has found something unsettling in Fiona's chamber, there could be a problem. If it's a drinking glass, Fiona could need to find a method to justify herself and get out of this. Naturally, there's also a chance Brady forgot to bring along a piece of clothes. Brady and Fiona haven't had any physical relationships. Brady has just been sharing Fiona's bed. But Xander could think Fiona has taken a weird new interest in Salem. Either way, Fiona was about to make a breakthrough when Xander saw whatever it was. These teasers indicate that Fiona will struggle to defend and explain the apparent progress she's been making with Xander. After talking to Kayla Johnson, Mary Beth Evans about Everett Lynch, alias Robert Bobby Stein, and his tragic overdose, Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, will mourn and wish that things had gone differently. According to teasers for Other Days, Stephen Nichols' character Steve Johnson will brief Dider Hall's character Marlene Evans on the whereabouts of John Black, the bloody letter he discovered, and his suspicions about foul conduct. John hasn't been seen at his Greece hotel for a few days, but he never checked out. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.